Hey everyone, what's going on? What's going on? Well, there are a lot of things going on as we speak. I'm sorry, let me just adjust the light a little bit. Okay, there you go, that's better, right? How's everyone doing, huh? Sunday night? Um, I'm doing this podcast on Sunday, June the 10th, 2018. Holy shit, holy shit. So it's already 11 days into goddamn June? Damn it. So we're already almost near the mid year of this year, you know? Peaks are good for you, right? Um, so yeah, um, I'm doing this podcast properly on this Sunday. I mean, I do my most of my podcasts properly, but you know, I I try to do it on a Sunday night. Well, actually, I was supposed to meet with my sister for dinner, but then I told her, listen, I went out last night, so I'm just gonna take it easy today. I went to pick up my laundry, and then I did a little bit of grocery shopping, and then basically I just took it easy. I worked for probably like maybe 45 minutes, an hour on my home computer that I have set up, in my small home office. And then after that, I did some cooking, organic chicken and all that. I didn't do a cooking video, I'm sorry. But that was really delicious. I just tasted it a little bit again. I might have it actually later on with a glass of wine. I don't know. Although I try not to eat late because that's actually not good for you. You know? What's going on? What's going on? Well, I gotta trim my goddamn beard. Holy shit. Holy shit. So yeah, I went out last night. Where did I go? Oh, so I was walking in the. So I parked my car right in the parking garage of the Pier House. In Brooklyn Bridge Park, right? And excuse me, and then from there, I basically, um, after I had my sandwich, from there I went to the park. I just walked around, and it was kind of late. It was like 7:30, but it's spring slash almost summertime, and so the sun was still out, and it's beautiful. You can see the all the buildings of downtown Manhattan, and so yeah, so that's what I did, and then somebody told me, or somebody had told me sometime in the past, if not yesterday, that there's a beautiful rooftop bar um, that I should check out. And I'm like, all right. So I had to go to the bathroom, right? And then I saw a line, right? I saw a line outside, um, and I asked. There were two young ladies who were ushering the people at the line. I asked them, listen, is this the line for the rooftop bar? She was like, yes, this is the line for the rooftop bar. I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm not gonna you know, uh, I'm not gonna stay in the goddamn line. So I saw one of the workers at the hotel, right? So this is a hotel, right, at the Pier House. Actually, north of Pier Houses, which are condos. Goddamn 3 million or $4 million condos. But if you really want to, like, if you have money And if you want to invest in real estate, those condos are the way to go, man. I don't have that money. I'm just renting, you know. Hopefully, I'm gonna buy something soon. However, I'm renting, right? So yeah. So what happened was that I saw one of the workers at the hotel slash bar, right? Rutabat, and I'm like, hey man, listen, I want to go up to the rooftop bar, but I don't want to get in the line because whatever, you know. And he was like, wait, are you staying at the hotel? I'm like, I basically made up that shit. I'm like, yeah. He's like, yeah, use your key card. Just go to the elevator, use your key card to the 11th floor, and and that's it. You don't need to be in the line if you're a guest, if you're a hotel guest, right? And so I'm like, oh wait a minute. So I lied, you know, for a good reason. But but then I'm like, well, I don't have a key card because I'm not staying here. I basically went to the park. You know, that's how I ended up here. And so what I did was I went to the elevators, right, where the elevator banks were at the hotel on the first floor, and there was an elevator that was open already, right? So I go in there and I press 11. I press 11, and then there's a patron who came in to the elevator and he pressed 4, right? And I'm like, holy shit, so this works. I'm like, man, listen, I need to go to the rooftop bar, but I'm not staying at the hotel. How does this work? He's like, don't worry about it, you know, because he was probably staying at the hotel and he had the key. He's like, yeah, just press 11 and then you'll be up there. And that's what I did. He got off at like 4, you know, fourth floor. When I got off at 11, it was just a rooftop bar. And so I was there for until um, it was kind of late. I think I stayed there until like midnight. Yeah, that was bad. I mean, nothing bad happened, but just that, you know, I realized, oh, wait a minute, you know what? Fuck this. Um, but the views were amazing, and I took some pictures and amazing views, like of downtown Manhattan, Brooklyn Bridge. You know, from that bar, I highly recommend um, anybody who lives in Brooklyn to check out that bar. But get there a little earlier. Get there like by 7 o'clock, because then you know, the weather now is nice, and so it's gonna get better, nicer, I mean warmer. So they are going to have a lot of crowds up there. So you know, they have a limited capacity and all that. Um, yeah, don't get in the line. Do just what I told you, what I did last night. Don't get in the fucking line, man. Just enter the building from the park side, right? From the East River Park side, and then just go into the elevator. That's it. That's all you gotta do. But check it out. That's a beautiful bar. Although drinks are obviously very, very expensive, like $17 for a goddamn drink. I'm like, what the fuck? Well, but I met some interesting people, young. You know, I was talking to this kid, and he was with two ladies, and and I don't know. I mean, I didn't talk to the ladies. Well, I guess because at some point in time I realized that the kid was asking me a lot of questions about a lot of things in my life, including my podcast and all that, right? But one of the ladies was his girlfriend. The other one, I think she was single. I think I made the mistake of not talking to her because we were just like doing a dude talk, you know, about a lot of things in life, including Bourdain and whatever the hell it is, right? Oh, by the way, yeah, that's one of my topics. Anthony Bourdain died Friday. Was that Friday or Saturday? One of these days, right? It's too bad. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the issue is with these celebrities. And he had, he had a great life, very famous, obviously, in the media and in the Food Network and being a chef and all that. I don't want to discuss this now, but I'm going to touch up on that. Touch up on that later in my teaching. And then the lady, the fashion designer, gets paid same goddamn week. They kill themselves. I don't know what the hell is wrong with these people. Well, I mean, I think to an extent we know what's wrong. Depression, they take pills. You take hard drugs during your young years, including, like heroin, cocaine, and all those goddamn. Dude, I never done any of that bullshit. I will never do that. Fuck that bullshit, you know. So, so yeah. So that's what I did, and then last night, I uh, I took an Uber, I believe. I took an Uber, and then came back. Or did I drive? I think I drove. I was fine, but I'm not going to do it again if I drove. I think I drove. Yeah, because I was checking my car, and it's actually in the parking lot. That's what the Apple Map is telling me. So I'm not going to do it again, man. Fuck that bullshit. So I didn't drive today. I just went to Swallow Cafe on Atlantic Avenue. But I was trying to see because I have like two computers. Like I have two MacBooks that I actually had to retire from my office. So basically, I brought them home and I'm using those. So one is in my living room, which is this one. Actually, the other one was in my living room. And so what happened was that this one, I switched it to one in my master bed to this one because this is partitioned already. Because sometimes I like to use Windows. So this is already partitioned, and so basically I can just I can restart and then just press the option key, and then it gives me the option of going to Mac or the Windows, right? There we go. So yeah, so I had the other computer. I took it and then I realized, holy shit, that's just Mac. It's not Windows. It doesn't have a partition. With Boot Camp, I was actually trying to do that I think on Thursday night. Thursday night I was trying to like do Boot Camp and all that, but then I realized that for Boot Camp, for that computer, I need a goddamn flash drive, and I went to this shop called the GameStop on Court Street, and I asked them if they had flash drives, and they said no. I said, fuck it, you know what? Let me check the other computer, and maybe the other computer has already partitioned, and I realized it does. The only thing is that this computer, which has the partition, right now I'm using Mac, right? Because I'm using the PhotoBooth, obviously. But it doesn't have in the Windows. I usually use the AutoCAD software, for drawings and all that, right? However, I realized that this computer still does not have that, so I had to call my IT guy and have him install. I'll probably have to take it to the office this week and then have him install AutoCAD, and that's it. AutoCAD for MEP, like mechanical, electrical, plumbing, and all that, fire protection. and that's it. Then I'm all set. Oh, you know why? Because I had three computers at home here, three MacBooks. One I took back to the office because it had the partition and it had the arcade installed, and I had one of my ex-colleagues' sons starting as an intern this past Monday. So he started, not Monday, but what was that? When was that? Oh yeah, Wednesday. Wednesday. So he started Wednesday, and so I had to have a computer at the office. So I took the one in the living room to my office, back to my office. So that's what I did. So in any case, so I went to Swallow Cafe and I realized that the computer that actually switched, the one that's sitting in my master bedroom, right? It does not have a goddamn partition and does not have window. The problem is that it's nice to have Mac and all that, but again, without repeating myself, sometimes you are you are restricted in a sense that uh, not a lot of companies, software companies, uh, have software for Mac. For example, AutoCAD, right? So that's why I switched these two computers because I want to have the AutoCAD installed on this without going into too much into like work shit. I'm sorry. Since I want to discuss and cover a lot of great topics that you all may relate to in this podcast, right? Exactly. So yeah, so I did that last night, man. It was like I don't know what the fuck, dude. I was like, why did I do that? But I guess it was fun. It was fun. That's all. I mean, I had fun. No negative thoughts about that and all that. You gotta be positive. Do yoga and all that. No, no yoga. No, it's not for me. I do my body exercises. I take a lot of deep breaths as much as I can every day, and that's my yoga. There you go. Okay, so how is everyone doing on Sunday night, huh? God damn it, 17 minutes, 42 seconds. Holy shit, dude, holy shit. Alright, so, yeah, so I have a lot of great topics, my cheat sheet, but before that, I want to check, um, I want to check, but first I want to check with Siri. Hey Siri, weather for this week, please.
The forecast in New York is calling for both mostly clear skies and rain this week. Daytime temperatures will fluctuate between 71 and 84 degrees, with overnight lows between 57 and 68 degrees.
Okay, so basically this is the typical spring weather. Although we don't really have a spring in New York. Okay, so yeah, I apologize to my sister because I canceled the dinner at the last minute, and she was like, "No worries." She's very cool. My sister is the coolest. All my sisters are the coolest ladies on earth. Yeah. Um, and I have a work email from one of my clients. I don't know what the hell he's saying, but I guess I'll talk to him tomorrow. Right? There we go. So no work shit. Um, yeah. So yeah, that's what I did today. And then I picked up my laundry. I did some groceries, and here I am. And I just took it easy. And sometimes you have to take it easy, man. Whatever the hell you're doing. Oh, by the way, Friday night I had a date. She was like very late, in Soho. I had invited her to one of the French restaurants in Soho, but she was like very late, but it was nice, We came to We came to my place. We drove to my place. I parked my car in the parking lot, and uh, and then we had a great time. And then she left around like midnight. We watched like half of a movie. I think that's what we did. But it was great. I mean, it was a great time. And so yeah, I had a date and I went out last night. So I did my dudes thing, whatever the hell it is. And now I have to take it easy. That's what I'm doing. How's your weekend going, by the way? Yeah, everyone is having a great time. Yeah, yeah, have a great time. Enjoy the weather as it lasts. Cause we are the goddamn hurricane season now. I don't know what the hell's gonna happen. Sorry, that was my old man moment. Um, but speaking of which, we don't know what's going to happen with the hurricane. So, I mean, global warming is, I think, is real. And so, people who deny global warming, they are actually denying some facts, scientific facts, including, I think I said that in my last podcast, including the increase in the allergens, goddamn pollen and all that bullshit. It has been rising because I think what happens is that as the temperature of the surface of this planet rises, pollen actually gets more of a, like a spread, more of a spread. Because the cooler it is, pollen cannot. It's harder for pollen to actually like spread itself. I think that's what it is. I'm not an expert on that. I'm just saying. I think that's. I mean, I was looking at one of the charts. If you Google like, is pollen on the rise? They show like a straight line going shooting up the goddamn like at like 30 degrees between I think 1980 and 2016. And I'm pretty sure National Health Institute has a lot of say on that one too. Don't take any pills, sir, man. There's no need for any pills for your allergies. No. Drink a lot of water, do exercise, live a healthy life, and that's it. That's it, you're fine. Um, Unless you have really severe allergies to pollen, then you need to take the shots, you know, where actually they give you like very small, starting with small doses of those pollen, so your body becomes immune to it. Because if you have severe allergies, your body now thinks that when pollen hits your nostrils, or the fuck it is, right? Your body's immune system thinks that it's a bad it's some sort of a bad agent, and it starts reacting to it for no goddamn reason, and then there you are, you're like sneezing and all that fucking like watery eyes and all that, right? So yeah, don't don't take any fucking pills for that. You're fine. Again, I'm not an expert on this, so don't quote me on that. Um, oh, by the way, don't just say that if you eat seeds of a cucumber. Actually, seeds of cucumber are actually good for your body, I think. Well, I mean, any vegetable is good for your body, but I think seeds somehow it flashes you up. Is that true? I don't know. Again, I'm not an expert on that. But so um, without any further ado, I want to get into my cheat sheet. Right. Oh, by the way, so I was listening to Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan, he's a great guy. He does his podcast, I think, every day. I think, is that what he does? Yeah, so he brings in a guest, and they talk about shit that's related to everybody's life, almost. So I was just watching on YouTube him and this guy Dan Carlin. They were talking about how people actually get trapped in like everyday everyday work, in the sense that they don't use their creative minds, and that may be because our school system is 140 years old, which is true, which is fucking true. You know why? Oh, by the way, you guys like my New York shirt? Huh? Yeah. So I took a lot of photos, right, from that bar on top of the pier house, goddamn hotel, and without digressing, the point I'm trying to make is that the what the fuck I was talking about? God damn it! Oh yeah, I know, because Joe Rogan and Dan Carlin. I don't know who Dan Carlin is. Maybe you can look it up. I'm pretty sure he's some famous guy, because Joe Rogan brings in these famous people to his podcast, video podcast, right? Dan Carlin. Okay, here we go. Okay, so here we go. Oh, here's a guy who actually wears these like baseball hats. Dan Carlin, in 1965, is an American political commentator and podcaster. Once a professional radio host, Carlin eventually took his show to the internet, and he now hosts two popular independent podcasts, Common Sense and Hardcore History. Okay, so there we go. Everybody's having a podcast these days, so here we go. So so he was talking to oh, he's from Colorado. Holy shit. Carlin obtained a BA in history from the University of Colorado Boulder. I know where the fuck that is, because I was there last year near the campus. He broke into the television news business in Los Angeles in the late 1980s and covered the 1982 Los Angeles riots. God damn it. 1992 Los Angeles riots. I didn't know that. Oh man, I'm glad I wasn't here in the 1990s. Although 1990s was still, I think it's still called a Renaissance period. For what? I don't fucking know. Anyway, so yeah, so he was talking to, I mean, Joe Rogan was talking to this guy, Dan Carlin. They were talking about like how people get trapped in the professions, and like office work and all that. How Joe Rogan was talking about he could, like he was a pariah, not a pariah, but he was an outlier. Yeah, so I feel like an outlier to an extent. Um, that how we actually teach our kids, like this nonsense from 104 years ago, to become like a, like a worker in the assembly line. That's what we're teaching these kids, and these kids actually realize that, and that's the bullshit that that needs to be changed in the traditional education system. That has to change. I mean, why do I have to fucking like learn everything that I don't need? Most of the stuff that you learned doesn't fucking apply in your practical life. Whether you're working as an office, in an office, that's what I meant, or you're doing something else, right? Fucking school, like I did my masters and all that, but none of that shit ever get applied to the practical world that I got into through my first employer and the second, and then I started my own. So I think what Dan was saying, this guy Dan Carlin was saying, is very important. Is that you have to teach at least kids who are at the senior level of high school how to become entrepreneurs. Okay, that's what we have to teach these kids. That's it. I agree with him totally, 100%. And and how to become an entrepreneur starts with having a mindset of having your own business. Okay, start humble. Okay, that's what I do. Start humble and register a company in your name in the state you are, right? Whatever your name you want to give it to, whatever profession you are in, whatever you like, right? And that's it. That's the beginning of your entrepreneurial lifestyle. And so I'm not going to go on and on that one, but I was watching and I was listening to them, and that's Joe Rogan. He's a great guy. He's a great guy. All right, so with that one, I want to get into my cheat sheet. And I actually have Anthony Bourdain at last, but I think I want to bring him at the top. I want to talk about him. And the lady gets Spade. Um, and all I can say is that, I mean, I don't know what happens after people die, but they actually kill themselves, so I don't know, whatever that means. Is there a difference if you kill yourself, or you die of a natural reason, or you die of an accident, or somebody killed you? I don't fucking know, dude. I'm just saying a prayer to them that may their beings rest in the eternal peace. I mean, that's all I can say, right? Whatever that means. Uh, Bourdain, I know I have heard about him through food, because whenever you think about Bourdain, right? Whenever you think about Bourdain, like food, and you feel like you're hungry, and like this amazing, like street food and all that, right? And then I didn't know much about Kate Spade, to be honest with you. I just found out who she was. She was apparently famous among ladies who are into like designer bags and all that, right? But she apparently amassed like a $1 billion business, which is fucking amazing. But the point I'm trying to make is that these two people, very famous people, took their own lives for a reason. I think the reason, which I kind of understand, not that I'm famous or I'm a millionaire or anything like that, is two things. I think mainly, which are, one is depression, obviously, right? Depression from whatever reason, right? Being lonely, not having a partner, or bad relationships. Having an image in public, but then having another image in the backdraft, right? I mean, you guys remember how actually goddamn. I don't want to say that goddamn. I'm sorry. Apologize. Um, how Robin Williams actually took his life and all that. So all these people, they have these double lives. They live these double lives, and then they realize what the fuck they're doing, and I think they end up going to the doctors, and the doctors would prescribe them these pills which are addictive, and then I think that's my theory on this one. Again, I'm not a different, and I'm not an expert on that, but I think that to an extent I realize why these people would take their lives themselves is because pills, prescription pills. I mean, oh, by the way, so I fell on the goddamn table the other day, right? So I was watching goddamn Avatar. God damn it, dude. Fuck this shit. So I was watching Avatar, and I was texting these guys, and so I fell, and the corner of the goddamn table hit me, or I hit the, and then I was like, oh my goodness, dude. You know what happened was that I was watching goddamn Avatar, and then remember that scene where goddamn Sully, when he goes into the chamber, right? When he goes into the chamber, and then he becomes one of those like Navi tribe, like pretends that he's them or he looks like them, and then the lady helps him from Navi, who's Zoe Saldana, right? And then he's trying to get on this like goddamn horse, like alien horse, right? From that tribe, whatever it is. And first time he tries to ride the horse, so the horse throws him. So he's flying off the fucking cliff, right, where the fuck it is. And then at the same goddamn moment, I think that's when I fucking fell. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? I fell on the goddamn table, like at the corner, and I'm like, I had a lot of pain. I had a lot of fucking pain, dude. But I didn't go to any doctor. I didn't take any fucking pills. I learned this at my own. It may be that one of my like back ribs is like damaged, you know, but that doesn't mean that I had to go to fucking doctor. And you know what they're gonna do? They're gonna give me like a fucking prescription drug, which is gonna be like oxycodone or one of those fucking opioids. Fuck that bullshit. Fuck it. Take the pain. If anything, drink a little bit of whiskey, you're fine. You know, that's my point on like all these celebrities taking their goddamn lives. All right, so I'm sorry. I'm just, I was ranting on that one. My next topic, um, is which was on the top of the list, but I brought Bourdain and Spade to the top of the list. So Deadpool 2. Deadpool 2. So I watched that. I think it last Sunday. Oh yeah, Deadpool 2 it's a classic. It's a fucking classic movie. I think it made a lot of money too. What's his name? Ryan Reynolds. He's a fucking great actor. Funny as fuck and all that, but if you guys haven't watched it, no spoiler alerts and all that. But him and Josh Brolin are neck to neck, but then at the end they come to like actually fight a common enemy. I don't fucking remember. So no spoiler alerts on that one. So look it up for yourself. I mean, watch it for yourself. I watched the regular standard. I didn't watch the. I didn't watch the 3D RPX, in my neighborhood's theater. All right, so how's everyone doing, huh? Good? Good or goodest? Good or goodest. Okay, so this is like a joke from my cousin, my older cousin. So he's like, gooder, goodest. There we go. Good or goodest instead of good. What's the English fucking thing, dude? God damn it, English language is so fucked up. Good, better, best. What the fuck? There's no link between good. If you look at these, like, if you look at the the letters, right? Good is made of G-O-O-D, right? And better is made of B-E-T-T-E-R. And then the best, I can understand, okay, I can understand this, there is a uh, there is a connection between better and the best. But what's the fucking connection between the good and the better? I don't fucking understand. Anyway, so I'm sorry. I'm just, that was my moment of, like my rant against English language. All right, my next topic is solo, not solo, sir, solo. Is solo a dud? You know what a dud means, right? So a movie is either hit or dud, right? So Solo, I watched it actually. I did watch it. I think I mentioned that in my last podcast. That Solo has been a dud apparently. What the fuck? So they were projecting a lot of sales, box office, right? So if you go here and everything goes to goddamn Wikipedia, right? Here you go. Solo a Star Wars story. Okay, here you go. Okay, so 250. Okay, so the budget is $250 million, right? 250 million dollars, and it brings back home in 2 weeks only $312 million. Well, I mean, the actors and actresses obviously are still making money, but this is not what they were looking for, right? So, so yeah, so is Solo a dud? I don't know. I mean, I watched Solo. It's different. It's different. It's yeah, it's different. Uh, but the guy who actually plays the young Solo, he doesn't actually look like he's what is. He is the young Solo, or he looks like Solo, or Harrison Ford to begin with. But that's my point. You guys can look it up, and well, let's just move on, right? Yeah. 42 minutes and 30 seconds. Holy shit. All right, so without any further ado, I'm going to get to my next topic. How is everyone doing? Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm just taking it easy, man. Sunday night, I was taking it easy. Sunday night, you always take it easy. Um, and I hope you all had a great week, and I hope you all are going to start with a great week. Shit, what the hell did I say? I hope you all had a great week, and I hope you all are going to start with a great week. There we go. How about the weekend? God damn it. I mean, you heard my story about my weekend, right? God damn it, dude. That bar is like, goddamn, it's like a fishnet. You know why? Because a lot of beautiful women, and it's such a beautiful view of Brooklyn Bridge and downtown Manhattan. It's like, god damn it, dude. You can be like fucking there for like until like 4 o'clock in the morning, which I didn't do. You don't want to do that. Fuck that bullshit. Alright, so my next topic, Bill Burr in Ireland. Oh god, that was fucking funny, hilarious. So Bill Burr, as you know, is a comedian, and I listen to his podcast. And so he was in Ireland, apparently. When was that? Like, yeah, last Monday he was in fucking Ireland, and he had his podcast, radio podcast. I mean, I do my video podcast on YouTube, but he does it like a radio. I mean, audio podcast, not radio, because I don't think he's on any excuse me, any of the radio channels, but he does his audio podcast, and he was apparently in goddamn Ireland, Dublin. So he was like making these like uh, like Irish accent, like I'm in Dublin. I'm in Dublin. No, I can't do that, but he can because he's of Irish and German descent. If anything, I'm Eastern European. God damn it. Um, Saint Germany. That's what my people are. As part of the me and 23, 23 and me. Look. Oh, by the way, so I live in a building that actually that's right across from a Greek church. And apparently, the Greek church had a festival. So I was there like Thursday night. I was talking to some people who are Greek, obviously, right? And so I was telling them that my people came to Macedonians and all that. And I was showing them the videos of the people who actually went to Macedonia, like, our monarch and whatever the hell it was. And they were interested. They were like, "Oh shit, man, you are our lost tribe." I guess I am. But do I want to like go to Macedonia now? No, I don't think so. I don't think their economy is as good as um, any other European countries. So there we go. So getting back to my point is Bill Burr. So he was in Ireland apparently for his stand-up comedy, and he was having some great time. Irish people are funny, obviously. So he was making like Irish accent jokes and all that. I'm in Dublin. You Dublin? I'm in Dublin. I'm gonna go to the. I can't fucking do that, dude. All right, so you get my point, right? I'm sorry. So yeah, that was funny. I was listening to his podcast, and I highly recommend to people who actually are watching my podcast to Bill Burr's podcast. Yeah, he's a great guy. Um, my next topic, Credit One Bank BS app. Okay, so Credit One Bank. I don't know. Is this a fucking scam? I don't know why and how I like signed up for this goddamn bullshit. Every time I try to use their app, it says, "Oh, there's something like we are updating something, or it's like in maintenance, some bullshit. So never sign up for any Credit One Bank credit cards. Don't do that. Highly not recommended. Don't fucking do that. Okay, that's it. Oh, by the way, so my office manager told me that her grandfather died this weekend, so I have to also say a prayer for him that may his being rest in the eternal peace. She was kind of distressed on Friday and all that, which reminds me of my grandfather on my paternal side. He fell off a tree. He fell off a tree while he was feeding the goddamn, goats and the sheep. Um, while he was cutting the branches to feed them, I think the night before he was actually working too to uh, to feed the water to the farms and mountains, and then most likely he had lack of sleep. I mean, lack of sleep actually can kill you, especially if you're climbing like goddamn like trees. Like I remember we had a huge like a huge mulberry tree, and that's why. And then we had this like huge rock, like rock. You know how mountains, these rocks are like, huge rocks, are in the ground, and then sometimes you can actually plant plants, and then they actually rise, and then they like huge mulberry plants. But in any case, so that's my prayer to him, my office manager's grandfather, and I said that about my Credit One Bank. BS. Yeah, it's goddamn BS, man. What the fuck, dude? All right, so some great news about space and all that. One of the headlines is that NASA's rover on Mars has found building blocks of life molecules. I mean, it hasn't found life, but it has found the building blocks of life molecules, which is a stride in us finding, if there ever was, or if there still is, any life form on Mars. And this actually, I'm pretty sure, um, excites people like Elon Musk, NASA people, obviously, right? It's a NASA rover. And people like, who's the guy who actually owns Virgin Galactic? I mean, these private companies, they are going to they are going to take over the fucking space travel, because NASA is like government, you know, is fucked up. So yeah, that's a really great news. And I when I was sharing that with my engineers, and one of my engineers was like, "Oh shit! So we came from Mars. So what's going to happen to religion here on this planet?" Okay, I don't know. I don't know. I said I don't think anything is going to happen to religion, because religion is based on faith. They will never fucking like uh, accept the fact that we actually are some sort of like beings who actually were, you know, like mushed in, you know, under the surface of Mars, and then somehow we had a, you know, we had a way to like, you know, come to Earth, because Mars became a goddamn cesspool of, you know, whatever it is. Sun actually killed Mars, right? You get my point. So that's one of the great news about Mars. And Mars could be where we actually originated from. Mars could be our home planet. Could have been, not could be. Maybe could be too. So, you know, all these people like Elon Musk, they want to land cargoes and then a humanoid mission. Well, to that point, I have said to them, oh, why don't you fucking do it first at the moon, okay? This is our first fucking base, sir, ma'am, any other gender association. It's our fucking first base. Why don't you do it on the fucking moon? Set up a fucking base first, and then from there, we can go gradually to other planet, right? There you go. So that's my point on that one. My next topic, I don't know, I know, it's 53 minutes already through the goddamn podcast. So, Facebook shared data with phones. What the fuck? Facebook is falling into some like shithole, really. And you guys can look it up. Apparently, Facebook shared data with phones, and apparently, many of the phones are owned by Chinese companies and all that bullshit, you know. And don't get off Facebook, get off the fucking Facebook. And I think I mentioned this in my last podcast, that teens apparently are leaving Facebook. I'm glad they are. Dude, I left Facebook a long fucking time ago. Facebook is like the horror of tech industry. That's what I call it. And with that, my next topic, Google and AI. So Google apparently was working with the military or Air Force, what the fuck it is, right? In developing AI, right? And all that. But apparently Google is now saying that they're not going to work on that. And so there we go. I mean, I think uh, Google is somehow against the making weapons using AI or software, which is kind of like an a venue of topics that I would like to discuss in details in my next podcast. However, I think the senators are, House of Representatives. They are going to have Facebook as well as Google and what's the other company? Big tech giants to testify in the Congress or in front of the House of Representatives because of their very ill and poor practices. So be ready, Facebook, Google, because I think this is where the new regulations are going to come. The tech industry needs a huge revolutionary um, new regulations. You know why? Because I don't want anybody to fucking share my data. 'Cause I don't know what the fuck happens with my data. Who uses it? Who is it given to? Fuck this bullshit. And Facebook apparently, again, being a whore of the tech industry, has been sharing data with anyone and everyone. Fucking whores of the fucking tech industry. Anyways, so I'm sorry I went on a rant on that one. With that, I hope you all are having a great weekend, and I'll speak to you all next Sunday, Saturday.